Welcome to the 16th episode of Season Tickets. I'm Michael.
And I'm Max.
This will be our 5th Friday debate show, and in this show we will be doing an MLB Postseason preview, and the Royals take on the Astros in one of the ALDS series. Max, who do you have?
Despite losing Game 1 last night, I'm still going with the Royals. I think they can carry their momentum from last year's exciting run as they have in the regular season. Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, and Kendrys Morales have been hitting the ball well all year, and I can see them keeping it up.
I get the Astros. I really like their young talent, and last year's World Series was played with 2 wild card game winners, so I think it could be this year's that the Astros could be this year's Royals or Giants going from the wild card game to the World Series. Their young talent is also maybe not as experienced at the MLB level, but their minor league teams have been in plenty of key playoff situations, so they have that experience. I know it isn't anywhere close to the amount of pressure as the ALDS is, but the Royals have the highest ERA of starting pitchers from teams remaining in the playoffs. And the Astros had a tough end of the year slide, but they lost 14 runs than the average in the second half of the year than the average team because they just had runners on base that they couldn't convert. And they also have the 4th best Pythagorean record in baseball, yet only the 10th best record. So I think that the Astros can beat the Royals.
The Blue Jays take on the Rangers, and I got the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays also lost Game 1, so I'm struggling a little bit to start. But Josh Donaldson was a terrific acquisition from the A's, and he and Jose Bautista each hit 40-plus home runs this year, and Edwin Encarnacion also hit 39, so they have a very powerful offense, and David Price and Mark Burley lead a good pitching staff.
Yeah, just a note, we made these predictions before the Game 1 of the series, so we're recording after Game 1, but we made these predictions before Game 1, and I agree with the Blue Jays. Their offense is one of the best in baseball for sure. I'm not fully sold on Texas, as even though they had the most injuries in the majors last year, they bounced back nicely this year, but they only have the 12th best wins above replacement for position players and the 20th best in pitching. Their run differential is also very average, only plus 18, which is worse than the Baltimore Orioles, a team nowhere close to the playoffs. And by Pythagorean record, they would not even be in the playoffs, lower than the Cleveland Indians and many other teams.
Hey, don't hate on the Indians.
Yeah, but the Indians weren't that close to the playoffs, and also the Blue Jays are amazing. Their run differential this season is at plus 221. That has only been beaten 18 times since 1950. They aren't slowing down at all either, making trades for the best position and pitcher available in the trade market in David Price and Troy Tulowitzki. They also boast a plus 131 run differential after the All-Star break. If they would have started that year on that pace, they would have broken the record for highest run differential since 1950. I'm only concerned with how amazing the Blue Jays have been is the simple fact of how unpredictable baseball is. Of the 18 teams that had a better run differential, only 6 won the World Series and only 11 made it that far. I still think they can beat Texas, but they need luck on their side. As you saw in Game 1, they couldn't get it done.
In the NLDS, we start with the Mets versus the Dodgers, and I'm going with the Dodgers. The pitching staff is great with Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke, and guys like Adrian Gonzalez and Jock Peterson have been hitting the ball well. So I had the Dodgers in this series. Mike, who do you got?
I got the Dodgers. The Mets had the easiest schedule of any team in the postseason, beating up on the likes of the Marlins, Phillies, and Braves. The Dodgers also had the 4th worst cluster luck in baseball, not stringing together enough hits in crucial situations, but they should be able to fix this against a very hard-throwing Mets starting rotation. The Dodgers also have 2 starting pitchers you might have heard of in Clayton Kershaw and Zach Greinke, so they're an advantage over any other team, so I got the Dodgers. And now we are going into the Cardinals versus the Cubs series. Max, who do you have in this NLDS series?
I'm going with the Cardinals because they have looked like the best team all year, being the only team over 100 wins, and they also play in a very hard division, including the Pirates and Cubs. Michael Wacha and John Lackey lead a strong pitching staff, and Jason Hayward, along with Matt Carpenter and Johnny Peralta, a former Indian, lead a strong offense.
I got the Cubs. As I mentioned before, the winner of the wild card game was in the World Series last year, and since the wild card has been in effect, the team that won the wild card are 3-3 in the division series. The Cubs rely on lots of young talent like Chris Bryant and Kyle Schwarber, who came up big against the Pirates. Jake Arrieta also had one of the best second half pitching performances in recent memory. Even though Arrieta already pitched in the wild card game, he will still pitch a game in the series. And the Cardinals have some of the best pitchers in the league at stranding runners. They strand almost 80% of runners, which is one of the best in recent memories. But this gave them 6 to 7 more wins throughout the year than the average team would have been. So this luck might not translate into the postseason. If they wouldn't have got those 6 to 7 wins, they would have been 3rd in that division, as the NL Central was just unbelievable this year. Yadier Molina is also hurt and will not be at 100% for the series. He is the heart and soul of this team and organization, and also could contribute to their high stranding rate of the runners. This makes me believe that the Cubs will beat the Cardinals and advance to the NLCS. And that will wrap it up for this episode of Season Tickets. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more Season Ticket videos.